Hey, hi, hello. Welcome back. I'm Heather, or Miss Postawait if you're one of my students. This is Pages with Postawait, and we're wrapping up July. So very excited to kind of take a look at the books that I read that are in the middle grade to YA range. This month I started with YA, and it's not a bad book for middle school. It does have a whole series, and I don't know if I would recommend the whole series for middle grade. Let me do a reread and I'll let you know. But the first one that I read was Ruby Red. This is by Kirsten Gier. I believe this is translated, that our author is actually German, and this is translated from the German. And one of the reasons I believe that is because the movies that are made from these books are all German, and only the first one's been translated to English. So if you like the books, unfortunately I hope you speak German. The books are fantastic. It's a time travel kind of element. I love these books. They're just a lot of fun. This is actually a reread for me a second time. I think I read these in 2020, kind of when we were all home, and loved them. And I needed something to just get July jump started, and it was the perfect read. So lots of fun, a little bit of romance, a little bit of family drama, and a whole lot of twisty turns in time travel. So much fun. 4 stars. The second one that I read, I'm actually going to reverse. So these are lower middle grade. This is not usually the age group that I read. I would definitely put these at around 8 or 9 years old for readers. They are graphic novels. They're very short, and I actually read this one first, but it's number 2, and these are Spirited. The first one is actually Day of the Living Live, and then, sorry, trying to get the glare off. The second one is Go a Ghoul Go, and the premise of these books, they're very cute. Living Live is a new student at a new town, and the town is mostly inhabited by ghosts, and she lives in a haunted house, and these are her 2 friends that she makes. We have a werewolf and a vampire. They're very cute. They're very, like, the reading level is extremely low, but they're high engagement. I would not have these in my classroom. They're a little low, although I do have some. I mean, Dogman is probably on this same kind of level. I'm encouraging my students to grow forward. They were cute. There you go. Those 2. Both of them got 3 stars from me, so they're not bad. They just aren't really my thing. So the next 2 books are actually my surprise books. So the first one that I read, I'll put it right here, is The Wrong Way Home. I'm going to murder the name of this author, and I'm so sorry. So this is by Kate O'Shaughnessy. Okay. Wow. This book was unexpected, and I had seen somebody who had read this one. It might have been someone in like the middle grade March maybe. And what caught my eye, what made me want to pick this up, was because the kid and their mom are kind of escaping a cult. And I don't want to ruin the book for you at all. You see it through the kid's eyes. So you see it through our main character, who I have forgotten her name, which is unfortunate. Here's her name. Anyway, she's trying to understand the world around her. She's trying to understand why we're leaving a home that she's always known and that she's felt safe in. She's trying to understand where they're going, what is happening, what's going on, why does nothing make sense out here in the world, and feeling that pull to go back. And the book was really heart-wrenching and heartwarming, and a lot of things happen, and it was very interesting because I don't think that most people, if they don't read middle grade, they don't give middle grade the props for hitting hard topics. So yeah, be willing to sit with and discuss hard topics. And the funny thing about this is that I don't own the book. I actually listened to it on audio. Highly recommend. I was talking about reading in class. School has started for me. I'm 4 weeks in. That's why you haven't seen a whole lot of me. Beginning of the school year is woo. Anyway, I was talking about reading. I was talking about books that I was reading, and I mentioned that I was reading this book about a girl escaping a cult, and the kids in my class went, "What's a cult?" And I'm like, "Oh, yeah. How do I touch that topic?" So there is so much that is powerful and eye-opening and world-expanding and giving kids context to be able to relate to just by reading. Oh my gosh, get these kids reading. So yeah, I actually asked the kid if we could put a pin in that, and I could come back to that the next day, because you have to be careful what you say as a teacher, and I wanted to make sure that I approached that in a respectful way. So I think I was able to answer that question without stepping on toes. And yeah, that was kind of a surprise for me. The second book was also a surprise, the next one that I want to talk about. And I went into it, honestly, I got to tell you the truth. I needed an audiobook because I listen to audiobooks on my commute back and forth for work. And so I had finished one and I needed another one. And I was just looking at what was available on Libby. Love Libby. Okay. And I found What Fell from the Sky. This is by Adriana Cuevas. And it was an unexpected treat, and I honestly almost set it down. I almost gave up on it after the first 15-20 minute drive to work. I just was like, I'm not sure this is for me or not. But the premise of the book is based on a true story. It's a historical fiction, and it takes place in this little town in Texas. And it's in the 1950s. I want to say it's in the 1950s. And basically, the true part of the story is that the United States did this military training in this small Texas town of what would happen if an invading country came in and like took over, and how would you handle that, and what would the army, what would the military do, what would that look like? So the town is put through this very intense situation where these men parachute in and invade and basically say that you are now part of this conquered new country. They have all these rules that you have to do, and they put the leaders of the town in jail and are basically taking over. Within days, the military comes in. These are all military. It's just they're each role-playing a side. And so then the United States government comes in to like try and liberate and free the invaded like township. And the story's told from the perspective of a bunch of sixth graders. I'm pretty sure they're sixth. It was a lot it was a lot because on top of that, so that's the true story. So historical fiction, right? Told from the perspective of children for the most part. The piece that then kind of took it into science fiction was that on the same day that these invading people came in, also there was an alien family that was coming to visit, and they also come in and kind of get separated, and the military has some interesting events happen when they discover alien life, and the kids are trying to protect the little girl. There's a little alien girl. There was so much in this book. I learned about a historical event that I didn't know of, but the way that it touched on racism and acceptance and bullying and embracing your culture and kindness. Yeah, stereotypes. I think that was the word I was looking for. Stereotypes. It hit a lot. Seriously, people are sleeping on middle grade. The authors of these books are opening up opportunities for discussion and for kids to really maybe ask questions and understand. I'm not going to ruin the book for you. It was worth it. So if you do start that book and you're like, I don't know if this is for me, just keep going. Just keep going. Give it 50 pages and you'll be hooked. So it was a treat. It was. I gave it 4 stars because, again, it had that slow-mo at the beginning, and there was an adjustment to... So I listened to it on audio, and I don't mean there was an adjustment to the voices because it's different people who are portraying the voices. That's not the problem. There was an adjustment to the voice of the characters and just trying to understand the personalities behind them, and that takes time. And I think it was a little abrupt in some places at the very beginning, and then you get the hang of it and you get into the cadence, and that was good. So it was good. I really enjoyed it. So 2 really surprise books that they were unexpected. It was really a delight. Okay, so the last one that I'm going to talk about is a graphic novel called Be Prepared by Vera Brosgol. I found this book thrifting and I was looking forward to it. It's I'm so sorry you can't see that. It kind of follows the green color scheme, and our main character is going to camp. Vera. Actually, it's kind of based on some of the author's experiences growing up. So Vera is a immigrant to the country. They have come from Russia, and it looks like it's really just her mom and her little brother, and they're struggling. And one day at her church, she kind of learns that there's a camp that you can go to, and Vera's been feeling a little like she doesn't fit in. She comes from a single mom family, and being one of those, making ends meet sometimes is hard. And so when she is with her friends at school, they're not experiencing the same issues and experiences that Vera is. And then on top of that, she has a different culture. And so the things that she's used to in her home, when others experience it, doesn't go well. So Vera just wants to fit in and find friends, and she learns about this camp that's like a Russian summer camp, and everybody speaks Russian, and she just thinks it's going to be the greatest time ever. So her and her brother are able to go. It's supposed to be a week or 2, and it's rough there too. So she has a little bit of a rough time there too, but she does get her bearings and it does end in a sweet way. But oh my goodness, things happen. Things happen. And everything that happened in this book is pretty understandable as a kid. Like the things that are going on, this has everything that these kids go through, and it's awkward and it's uncomfortable and it's reality and it's ridiculous, and you see up front and at face value bullying and not fitting in and just that struggle. I would love to put this on my shelf at school, and I can't. I can't because of one scene in one situation that takes like 2 pages of this book. And it's not even an unrealistic situation. I can totally see the situation happening. But I can't put it in my shelf because the kids all call this one boy a certain name because of a pimple or a bump on his head. I think it was a mosquito bite, that looks similar to female anatomy. And because it's very over the top on those pages, like, would that happen with middle schoolers? Yeah, totally. They would totally say those things. They would totally do those things. It's not unrealistic. As a teacher, I can't put it on my shelf. And I'm so sad about it. So I'm going to give it back to a thrift store, and hopefully it gets into the hands of a reader that's going to totally love and enjoy it. So yeah. It was so good, but I'm like, oh no, you didn't. You did not say that. It was great. It was a good book. 4 stars. I didn't have any 5 stars, which again, kind of surprising, but I enjoyed everything I read. So yeah. That was July. If you made it this far in the video, oh my gosh, please, what are you reading? What do you recommend? Do you have any good middle grades? For those of you who love middle grade, what is a great book? What is a great graphic novel that you have read that's middle grade? Because I'll tell you what, my students are really digging the graphic novels, and I have several that I can't wait to get into their hands because I think that's where it's at. Yeah. Bring your recommendations. Okay. Have a great night. Bye.